Scott Wagstaff hits a brace as League One side fend off West Ham fightback. For the majority of this enthralling FA Cup encounter, you got the sense that West Ham's players thought they had turned up at Wimbledon for a spot of lawn tennis. There was no nastiness from the Premier League visitors, no grit, no determination to win this fourth-round tie or avoid losing to a side sitting bottom of League One. Only in the second half, once they were 3-0 down, once the Wimbledon supporters were gleefully singing about playing them every week, did they finally wake up. AFC Wimbledon, 4-2-3-1, Ramsdale, Watson, Thomas, McDonald, Oshilaja, Nightingale, Wordsworth, Connolly, Wagstaff, Pinnock, Appiah, Subs, Jervis, Garratt, Trotter, Soares, Sibbick, McDonnell, Pigott scorers, Appiah 34, Wagstaff 41, 46, Sibbick 88. West Ham, 4-3-3, Adrian, Antonio, Diop, Ogbonna, Masuaku, Diangana, Noble, Obiang, Snodgrass, Hernandez, Carroll, Subs, Fabianski, Felipe Anderson, Fredericks, Lucas Perez, Holland, Rice, Coventry scorers, Perez 57, Anderson 71. Referee, Anthony Taylor. Manager Manuel Pellegrini made 3 changes at halftime and 2 of them, Lucas Perez and £40 million Felipe Anderson, got goals back. The third did not follow. Instead, it was Wimbledon who rounded off an excitable evening, scoring in the dying moments to cap a historic victory for the club only formed in 2002. It is approaching 40 years since West Ham last lifted a trophy. That was the FA Cup in May 1980, when they defeated Arsenal 1-0 at Wembley. The wait will go on. When asked about Wimbledon's crazy gang history before this tie, Pellegrini gave a puzzled look, the type you might see on a quiz show when the contestant doesn't have the foggiest. If a fan of Hollywood films, Pellegrini might at least have recognized one of its old members in the crowd. Vinnie Jones, football's former hardman and 1988 FA Cup winner, watched on. Wimbledon boss Wally Downes had called on his players to channel that crazy gang spirit here. They listened, winning every 50-50 as West Ham stars seemed reluctant to make the effort. Andy Carroll started, but in the warm-up, from 20 yards out and with no goalkeeper in goal, he hoved one shot out of the stadium. His feet were his strength anyway. The 6 feet 4 inches striker got his head to 2 corners in the opening 15 minutes but could direct neither of them on target. Carroll then set up Javier Hernandez with a header, but he too fired wide. Wimbledon then scored the opener and, to tell the truth, it was fully deserved. Anthony Wordsworth slipped the ball through to Kwesi Appiah, who took a touch and beat Adrian. Suddenly, an FA Cup upset was on the cards, largely because West Ham looked like they could not be bothered. It got worse before halftime. Pedro Obiang gave the ball away on the halfway line and suddenly Scott Wagstaff was through. He sprinted for goal with only Adrian to beat and scored for 2-0. Pellegrini walked down the tunnel with a face like thunder. His side had not managed a single shot on target and he brought on £40 million Anderson, Perez and Ryan Fredericks. Then, just 38 seconds into the second half, it was 3-0. Appiah crossed and Wagstaff, a free transfer from Gillingham in the summer, poked home from 12 yards. Wagstaff had scored 2 goals in 27 games before West Ham came to town. Now, he had 2 in 46 minutes. Co-owner David Sullivan sat in front of the press box, shook his head. A special mention has to go to Dylan Connolly, too. The 23-year-old Irishman, so unknown he does not have a Wikipedia page, had been outstanding on his first start for the Dons. Finally, West Ham started to pile on the pressure and it became 3-1 before the hour mark. A melee in the box gave Perez a chance to shoot and he buried the ball beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Then, it was 3-2. A free kick from 25 yards was inviting to Anderson and he smacked it into the left corner. That is what £40 million buys you. Could Wimbledon hang on? Yes, they could, and they could make it worse for West Ham too. In the dying minutes, substitute Toby Sibbick got his head to a cross for 4-2. We all know the history of AFC Wimbledon. They were a club reborn in 2002 after the original were relocated 56 miles north to Milton Keynes. One banner here reminded us of their short history. "We are the team that came from nowhere," it read. "We are the famous Wimbledon." Though they are set to return to their former home at Plough Lane, Kingsmeadow has its own intimidating aura. It was a packed house and the fans fancied an FA Cup upset. They got just that.